beauty for me has a lot of key components, right? So I think having a good concrete moral compass, having strong morals, strong values, being kind, because you can be beautiful exterior wise, but internally, if you're not a good person, then I think that's going to overshadow the exterior beauty.
Welcome to the Beauty Talk podcast, where we feature how the best medical practitioners help their patients to look better, younger, and healthier. Now, enjoy the show, and here's your host.
Daniel Gao here. I'm the host of Beauty Talk. We feature the top medical practitioners in health and beauty, both inside and out. I have Amy Nealey, a visionary operations leader and nationally recognized entrepreneur with over 17 years of experience in aesthetic and regenerative medicine. As a founder who has scaled multiple high-revenue companies, she has earned prestigious honors, including the Global Impact Award and back-to-back Med Spa of the Year titles. Beyond her clinical success, Amy is a seasoned media personality with over 13 years of radio and television experience. Her leadership philosophy integrates functional wellness with business strategy, empowering organizations to achieve sustainable growth through a mind and body alignment. Driven by the mantra, continuous growth always, she remains at the absolute forefront of industry innovation and technological advancement. So, Amy, welcome and glad to have you here.
Thank you. Such a great pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, so let's start with this, Amy. I'm curious, how did you first get interested in the medical field? Kind of start from the highest level, the medical field.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been passionate in regards to helping people with rejuvenation. My mom is actually in the medical field. She has been for almost 50 years. And so growing up, just kind of seeing her like prosper and grow, but really more so in college, focused on undergrad in medical regenerative medicine, received my master's in regenerative medicine as well. And I'm just fascinated in regards to the body itself, how it rejuvenates, and really kind of functioning with functional wellness from the inside out, helping to truly become your best self, right? So externally, internally, they all work in unison together, and just really kind of flourishing as the best that you can possibly be. And have just been intrigued. I was director for 13 practices for 10 years in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. And loved working with the different practices, helping them to grow, to capitalize, helping train and truly impact multiple lives across several different spectrums, but then decided to really kind of focus on my key practice as well as a few other businesses. And at that time, launched Revival Laser and Skin Clinic.
Got it. Okay. So it sounds like you've really been a entrepreneur at heart. So
Yes.
I guess, what kind of caused you to decide to want to be an entrepreneur? Why did you want to start your own practice?
So I have always been really kind of an entrepreneur since as long as I can remember. In fact, in third grade, we actually had a club that we were charging dues to be a part of. So that kind of started at an early age. But uh, I love the aspect of having a vision, creating a goal, and being able to truly design a customized plan to achieve that goal, but also the reward of self-fulfillment, right? And being able to positively impact other individuals' lives, creating a cohesive environment for my team, and just looking at, you know, when working for other organizations, there's obviously pros and cons, right? So I look at, a lot of the key factors that were key prospering components that really kind of drove business and revenue, but also to company culture, which is huge. And coming from an employee standpoint, even at a director level, the highest level of employment, I felt like you can only really, in a sense, impact so much on a corporate level structure, right?
Mhm.
And so I wanted to truly be able to change and transform lives and being able to control that environment, that cohesive structure, and create a an aspect in which people could grow, flourish, and exceed their goals as well. Not only me achieve my goals, but help them to achieve their goals.
Okay. So now that you have this practice, I'm focused mostly on the Revival Laser and Skincare Clinic side of it. Um, in your introduction, you do a lot of different things. So there's the aesthetic side, there's the regenerative medicine
Yes.
side. I think even like a functional medicine component to it. So what are some of the most common treatments that your clients and your patients come to you for?
So we actually have about 40 services in our portfolio. And yes, so we are focused at remaining on the forefront of obviously the continuous advancements of regenerative medicine as well as aesthetics and cosmetics. A lot of the services and procedures that we offer are exclusive to our practice within our area.
Mhm.
And we do that in an aspect to be able to set ourselves aside from obviously any of the other competition, but also to offer the best of the best to our patient base. So we offer non-surgical facelifts. We offer O-shot, P-shot. We offer permanent laser hair removal backed by a lifetime guarantee. We also offer facial balancing. We offer non-surgical BBLs that we perform via injectables with biostimulators. And I would say those are our key core treatments that really uh, are kind of our focus. But of course, we offer, Botox, Dysport, lip filler, cheek filler. We offer cryoskin, which eliminates unwanted fat, uh, spider vein removal, sunspot removal, age spot removal. We do laser resurfacing, acne scar removal. So we really have a broad spectrum in which, our goal is that once a patient becomes a patient, we want to be able to shift and navigate to accomplish all of their goals. Because you may start with one aspect, right? Someone comes in and maybe, they're self-conscious about their 11s within their glabella. So we treat that. Well, then they really begin to open up and discuss, well, I've always had, large pores or acne scars or what have you, and being able to pivot and offer a solution to drastically impact their life in a positive aspect is it's huge for us because we know like it's beyond amazing to see a patient come in and their life be transformed through treatments and encouragement and just positive experiences that we deliver across the board.
Okay. And I want to touch a little bit on regenerative medicine because
Yes,
I think not a lot of people know what regenerative medicine is. So could you
yes,
talk a little bit on what is regenerative medicine and why is it so important in the aesthetic sense?
absolutely. So I'm sure as you have noticed, a lot of the trends are kind of shifting more to a more natural appearance, right? So regenerative medicine, our bodies naturally are, when we're born, they naturally heal themselves, right? So we have stem cells. So regenerative medicine incorporates and kind of super fuels that regeneration and that regrowth process. So you're focused more on a natural treatment, allowing your body to truly do what it's designed to do. A lot of times I have to introduce the micro trauma per se in order to create that experience for the body to awaken and begin to rejuvenate. But it's great in the aspect that one, it eliminates really any type of adverse reaction to any type of product being injected or being used. It also allows the patient that confidence knowing that, it is a more natural alternative. And a lot of times those results generated because we are using their natural stem cells, their PRP. We have implemented exosomes and the mesenchymal stem cells as well. Uh, but it allows the body to truly thrive in its own environment, maximizing its core potential without the use of any alternate products.
Okay. So you're basically using your own body cells to help
Yes.
you look more natural and not using outside product, I guess you could say.
Correct, correct. And
Okay.
of course, we do have those products if needed, right? But, having your own PRP and stem cells to rejuvenate your body yields absolutely amazing results. The results are phenomenal. And
Okay.
often they end up being much more long term.
Okay. And it's even sounds like they're even safer because using your own
Absolutely.
body is, I guess, cells to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So if someone's looking at getting some type of regenerative medicine treatment done, is there anything that they kind of keep top of mind or just be aware of, or is it just something that they really shouldn't have much fear around?
I would say really not have much fear around. We initially conduct a complimentary consultation when a patient comes in to discuss what their goals are. and determine what's going to be the best treatment mechanism, correct?
Mhm.
Just to make sure that we are achieving their goals, we're exceeding their goals above and beyond. So, one of the key factors we've noticed with the regenerative medicine is that patients are less apprehensive because you're not injecting a foreign subject or into their body. So they're open to that, especially those that are just now kind of like dipping their toes into like the aesthetic aspect because everybody wants to look better, right? Everybody wants to feel better. It's just a matter of them taking that first step to be able to begin that process.
Okay, got it. And now I want to talk a little also about P-shot and O-shot because I think that's another thing that just like regenerative medicine, a lot of people really don't know what it is unless they are actively looking for that type of treatment. So can you
Sure.
explain what is O-shot, what is P-shot?
Absolutely. So O-shot and P-shot are both sexual regenerative medicine. So we're using the patient's PRP. So P-shot is exclusive for males, O-shot's exclusive for females. So we'll start with P-shot. So P-shot helps with to achieve harder firmer erections, the ability to maintain erection through intercourse. It increases libido. It helps with the individual gaining girth as well as length. So they're about 20% growth.
Hmm.
Also helps to increase sensitivity and allow them to be able to obtain multiple erections in a 24-hour time period. So we see a lot of men, some look for just performance enhancement when it comes to the P shot. Some men are looking for maybe they're suffering with, some issues with ED.
Mhm.
If that's the case, we do compound the P shot with Gainswave,
Mhm.
which is a focalized sound wave treatment that breaks up that plaque buildup in the arterial wall. But we've had men literally from 21 to 89
Oh, wow.
get the P shot. Yeah. And they achieve great, great, great results. Now, some men come in, they get it once and they never get it again.
Mhm.
We have some men who are getting it once every 6 months, so semi-annually. So it really is just variable based on the patient. We have some in that call and they're like, "Hey, I'm going on a cruise. Like, I want to come in and get a P shot just so I'm at my optimal performance."
Mhm.
So the results are phenomenal.
Mhm.
The O shot is designed, of course, for women
Mhm.
to help intensify and magnify orgasms.
Mhm.
So it also helps with urinary incontinence. It helps to tighten and firm the vaginal wall, increase lubrication, as well as increase libido. And we have a lot of women that really have never been able to achieve orgasms actually come in. They'll get the O shot and then great success. So, again, transforming their lives in lots of different aspects. So, both are yielding really great results and really positive experiences.
Wow. Okay. So, with the P shot, going back to the P shot,
Sure.
that if they are suffering from ED, then this can actually help fix it. But also, if they're not suffering from ED, then just from a performance base, it's for both situations.
Absolutely correct.
Okay. And then it also sounds like for on the P shot side, there are physical changes, length, girth, and all of that. On the O shot, is there physical changes, or is it more of just like more the tightening, more the sensation, but from a physical standpoint, is not a whole lot physically changing?
Not physically, no, because the O shot is injected internally.
Mhm.
And so, physically, maybe, if you're considering the tightening of the vaginal wall and stimulating of that collagen and elastin, so that could be a physical change per se. But overall, no, I would say it's more internally.
Got it. Okay. And then going back to the P shot, you mentioned that some people come in and just get it once and they're good. Some come every like twice a year, or just whenever they need it. So the P shot by itself, is it something that it's normally a one and done, or is it like you get it once and then it'll kind of like last for a certain period of time and then you get it again to kind of like refresh it? Like, how does it typically work?
So that again, that's really variable based on the patient. So it's based on one, obviously how viable their PRP is, right?
Mhm.
And how healthy the PRP is. Two, what their goals are. So if someone is solely looking for performance enhancement, it could be just that one time is all they need. If someone is suffering, from ED, then, it could be that they do need to obtain, the P shot, twice a year or what have you.
Mhm.
So again, variable based on the patient. Unfortunately, there's no way to determine and say, hey, you're just going to need one.
Mhm.
And that's something that we always under promise, over deliver. I mean, that's huge for us. And we want to make sure we set our patients up for success from the very beginning.
Mhm.
So, unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball to say, okay, you're going to be great with just one, or you're going to need four or five. But the great news is that with the P shot and the O shot, you can continuously have them performed. Typically, we recommend about 180 days in between to allow your body time to fully regenerate and to truly maximize, right? Because the PRP is not going to have an instantaneous result.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's not like we're flipping a switch and it's like, oh, okay, here we go.
Mhm.
So it does take your body time to kind of process and implement that new PRP, kind of the super fuel, and regenerate that growth. So it really, again, variable based on the patient and what their needs are and just their body and how viable their PRP is.
Okay. And is it the same for the O shot as well? Maybe it's in
It
one.
is, absolutely.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
got it. Uh, and so next question, I'm sure you get this question a lot. Does it hurt, the procedure?
No, so the P shot is 6 injections into the penile area, but we do numb the patient prior. We have a topical BLT that we have compounded for our practice specifically. So we numb them so they don't feel anything at all. And it's literally over in a matter of, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes. Our provider team, yeah. And so we specialize in the services and procedures that we offer. So our provider team is phenomenal at what they do. So they have this really perfected down to a science.
Mhm.
So really the patient comes in, the longest part of the P shot is really the numbing, which takes about 30 minutes,
Mhm.
and then the blood draw. So, and then the spin down of the PRP and separation. So the actual injection part is really super easy.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. So, okay. Thank you for kind of going through all that. And the reason I want to go more into the regenerative medicine side, more the O shot and the P shot, because I think it's those things that people just, if they're not in medicine or aesthetics, they just don't hear that very often. I think like Botox and filler, people kind of just hear
Of
it,
course.
never gotten it. So specifically for regenerative medicine and the sexual wellness parts, what are some of the most common myths or misconceptions you hear from your clients, from your patients about these types of treatments?
I would say a lot of patients are very initially when they first come in, right? Or they make that first point of contact, whether it be a call or web request or what have you, uh, very apprehensive and very nervous and discussing and having conversation in regards to anything to do with sexual wellness. I think, for so long, it is becoming more and more common and more of an open conversational topic, but it was such a taboo topic for so long. And a lot of patients are when, they're like, I've heard that it hurts really bad. So definitely top of the priority list, patients. So we have to eliminate that right away because it does not. They actually don't feel anything at all. And there's also no downtime or recovery time.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're literally like in and out and, can go right back to their daily grind. And that's both for the P shot and the O shot. I would say, uh, the fact that some patients are like, oh well, I don't believe that works. We've had great success. We track our patient success, so we know, like, we stand behind our services and procedures. We want to know our patients have great results. We've never had a patient in the 7+ years that we've been offering these procedures report that it has not worked. So the results are phenomenal. We studied with Dr. Reynolds himself, the doctor who invented and patented, trademarked the O shot, the P shot, the vampire facials. We studied with him specifically in Miami when we first launched. And that's one of the key factors too, because there's a lot of practices that offer like the PRP shot and they are not licensed or authorized to carry the trademark of the P shot, the O shot, the vampire facials. And one of the key aspects is, yes, it's great to be able to have that trademark, but it's that proprietary knowledge of knowing um, the correct centrifuge to use, the correct PRP, kits and tubing to use, how to actually inject, the proper injection techniques. So those key components are what make the treatments so successful and what make them yield such great results. So I think a lot of times, just like with anything, you kind of have like your generic treatments per se. And I think that's where some of the negative aspects come into play with people stating that, oh, I heard that did not work. Well, there's a lot of centrifuges that don't yield key amounts of PRP. So when injected, of course, you're not going to have a really great result.
Mhm.
So I think just like with anything with that, it's about really choosing the correct provider, ensuring that they do have that foundational knowledge and that skill set to truly deliver excellence in whatever, procedure or service you're pursuing.
Okay. And so let's say that me or the average person is looking for one of these treatments, P shot, O shot, but I don't know which provider to go to. I've kind of heard about the treatment. I kind of know a little bit about it, but I really don't know much. I don't know what to look for in a good provider who is experienced, knowledgeable, and can get me the results I'm looking for. So, what advice would you give to someone like myself or the average person looking for this treatment but doesn't know which provider to choose? How can they figure out who's a good one to look for?
Okay. So I would say definitely you want to ensure that they are registered on the Cellular Medicine Association website. So that's going to give you a great list of the P-shot, O-shot licensed providers. And then also too, you really want to do your research, right? Like 9 times out of 10, practices offer complimentary consultations. And I think going in, meeting with the provider, experiencing the environment, the culture, I think you can really get a good feel of the overall component of, is this provider knowledgeable per se? Also looking at reviews. Reviews, I think, speak volumes a lot of times of practices, their knowledge, patients' experience. And then also, of course, word of mouth, but, asking, really doing, I feel like extensive research prior to going in, knowing the correct questions to ask. Um, for example, how long have you been performing this procedure? Someone obviously that's been performing it for a couple of years is going to be obviously yield much better success than
Right.
someone that has been performing it for a couple of months.
Mhm.
So while you have, of course, the didactic, like the educational knowledge, and you have the clinical knowledge, truly trial and error, just like with anything, really yields, great success in perfecting that delivery as far as results are concerned.
Okay. Now, Amy, I'm sure that throughout your career and your experience, you've run into some maybe challenging cases or at least had some very memorable cases. Is there maybe one story that you're able to share of just one of those cases that come to mind and how you were able to get them a successful outcome in the end?
Absolutely. So I think one of the key aspects is, for example, we had a patient who came in for non-surgical facelift. Uh, we preach tried and true before and afters, right? That's a great foundation to have to be able to visually show, hey, like you've seen great results, or like, hey, maybe we need to do, something a little additional to help tweak those results or what have you. But so we had a patient that came in. Great candidate for the non-surgical facelift. We review medical history to ensure there's no contraindications. We discuss, their goals, what they want to achieve. We want to make sure that they are in line with what the treatment delivers and that they are realistic, right? So we know from the beginning we're setting them up for success. Um, we decline to treat patients if their goals are not in line with what the treatment delivers. And if we feel like they're not a good candidate for the procedure, like we would much rather refer someone out than treat them and them have a negative experience, right? Like we are 100% patient focused. So our core goal is for the patient to have great results. But this particular patient was a great candidate for the procedure. Hands down, no question asked. We knew she was going to have incredible results, right? We do the before pictures, perform the procedure. Patient calls, spend about 3.5 months, 4 months. It takes at least 6 months to see the key benefit from the non-surgical facelift. So she calls, I'm not seeing any results at all. And so we're like, okay, well, why don't we have you come in? Like, let's take some after pictures and we'll review those pictures together. So patient comes in and we take the after pictures. We do a comparison. Again, when she comes in, she's like, I'm just not seeing any results. Like, I'm just so disappointed. I can't believe, like, I'm not seeing anything by now. Like, I should see something. So we're like, okay, well, we compare the before and after pictures, and literally, and this is now at 4 months, mind you, the patient looked 20 years younger. And she was like, oh my gosh, like I cannot believe this. Like this is unbelievable. Like she was ecstatic, right? And that's why, we preach, before and afters are so, so, so important. They are a key part of the actual treatment process and treatment protocol. Because what happens is patients see themselves day in and day out. So they're not seeing those changes and those transformations.
Yeah.
And it's just like if someone loses like a lot of weight, right? Like they're not seeing that because they're used to seeing that image in the mirror. Then they'll see someone they haven't seen in a couple of months and like, oh, like Nancy, like you look so good. But, with this particular patient, I mean, she was determined when she came in that she had seen no results, like she had wasted her money. I mean, she just went on and on and on about just how she just could not believe this. But to see the before and after pictures, it was unbelievable. I mean, it truly was amazing. And then to see, she was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this. Like she literally looked 20 years younger. So that was very rewarding in that aspect to see just her change and, persona and temperament once she did see, like, okay, wait a minute, like I'm seeing great results. And, keep in mind, she was only at the 4-month mark.
Wow, that's incredible. I guess
Yeah, no, it's
you have to show
great.
them before and after. They have to see it because, like you mentioned,
Yes,
day by day, they're not going to notice the small changes, but beginning and end, you're going to see it.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so now, Amy, I'm curious, where do you think the future of aesthetics is going? You kind of mentioned a little bit as far as like people looking more for the natural look, but where do you think the future is going?
I think the future is going, of course, everyone wants like non-invasive, right? Minimal to no downtime or recovery time. Everyone is so busy, like in the hustle and bustle. So we're seeing treatments and technology evolve to where, treatments are, vast majority of treatments now are non-surgical for a lot of aspects. Of course, we still have our surgical options for, more extreme cases or more extreme results. But I think non-surgical, I think regenerative, using obviously, functional wellness to treat the root cause of the issue, to really kind of eliminate that and not kind of just put a band-aid on it per se. Uh, I think healing from the inside out, allowing that natural glow to truly shine through, and using whether it be, stem cells, exosomes, PRP, whatever it may be, that's become a really great shift and trend because it's amazing as, you know, technology. Like I did my thesis on stem cells 20 years ago when I was in college, right? So that's when they, kind of first began. Of course, they've kind of always been in research, but just to see the transformation and the advancements that have evolved since then, I think that definitely is going to be the future of aesthetics. A lot of people are, wanting again that more natural look. So, we have a lot of patients coming in dissolving their filler because they feel like, they are no longer, looking natural. So I think natural and basically just kind of looking more original and natural.
Okay. And with that in mind, what is your vision for your practice, Revival Laser and Skin Clinic?
So our vision is obviously continuous growth. We're in the process of potentially franchising. We've been approached by several companies
Mhm.
to franchise, so we're exploring those options
Mhm.
and really just continuously offering a 5-star experience from start to finish. We want to ensure that the patient has an experience that's unforgettable from the very first point of contact, to continue that and just to continuously grow and evolve
Mhm.
and be able to capitalize on the market, transform and change lives and make a positive impact within the community.
Awesome. Very well said. Well, Amy, I have one last question for you, but before I ask it, I do want to point people to your website at revivallaserandskinclinic.com.
Yes.
Last question for you. What does beauty mean to you?
What does beauty mean to me? I think so. Beauty for me has a lot of key components, right? So I think having a good concrete moral compass, having strong morals, strong values, being kind, because you can be beautiful exterior wise, but internally, if you're not a good person, then I think that's going to overshadow the exterior beauty. Of course, I love, the beauty on the outside as well, because that's, what keeps us in business. But I think truly shining from the inside out and letting your positivity and your love, compassion, empathy kind of shine through. And I think that makes really anyone beautiful. And then maximizing and overcoming insecurities for those that are wanting to transform.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. Amy sharing her expertise. So, Amy, where can people contact you in your practice?
So they can contact us via our website, so revivallaserandskinclinic.com. Of course, we're on social media platforms on Facebook and Insta, Revival Laser and Skin Clinic. And then they can also reach out via phone if they would like, if they have any questions. That number is 910-679-4312. And we would love to answer any questions that you may have.
Awesome. Well, Amy, this is great. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and thanks for sharing your message.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Beauty Talk podcast. Any questions, please contact the practice directly with the contact information provided during the show. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.